WWE are planning a major CM Punk and Drew McIntyre gimmick match at Bash in Berlin. Plus, future Seth Rollins plans have been revealed. And we had multiple new NXT champions crowned last night. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Don't know whether you've noticed at all, Jack, but CM Punk and Drew McIntyre don't like each other very much.
They don't seem to. And it looks like this rivalry of theirs. I'm talking like I've never seen wrestling before. This rivalry of theirs.
Wrestling rivalry that is taking place in WWE.
It looks like it's about to intensify because according to wrestle purists, they say according to multiple sources within WWE, Punk versus McIntyre in a strap match is planned for Bash in Berlin.
Oh, that is what happens in a strap match and a lightsaber battle.
Now, and in a lightsaber battle as well.
This is a nice way to get us, because we're getting Hell in a Cell with these two. We've got
surely.
This is a nice little breakwater.
Absolutely, and I agree, and I think they'll put on a fantastic match. It's one of those kind of seldom seen stipulations in WWE, which means that whenever it's used, I guess it's more effective because we don't see it all the time. The only thing, I guess CM Punk said stuff during the Clash at the Castle press conference saying like, I'm not going to be in a Hell in a Cell match, but you know, wrestlers sometimes change their minds.
He also never go back to WWE ever.
Right,
so,
exactly.
There we go. But I think the scenes on Raw of Punk whipping Drew was a little indicator, but sources close to Wrestle Purist all but confirm it. That's gonna be a brutal little affair as well.
Yeah, and I think it might address some of the criticism some people had over their match at SummerSlam, which was that, you know, it wasn't maybe as violent as we were expecting given the build. Well, this one should surely answer those questions because there's few matches as visceral as a strap match in terms of, that looked like it hurt.
I feel like they're just cranking the gears up on it, aren't they, really? They're starting slow. This will be like third gear, and then that inevitable Hell in a Cell match is just going to be foot on the floor, off we go.
I think you're right, especially if Punk wins, because then they'll need a decider, a rubber match, won't they?
A rubber match. Now, there is another factor in this CM Punk Drew McIntyre story, and that's Seth Rollins, who was taken out by 6 tsunamis, came washing over me, to quote the Manic Street Preachers that time. And consequently, he's off TV for a little bit. PW Insider reports regarding Seth Rollins, he will be taking some time off to deal with some injury issues. The angle with Bronson Reed was to build Reed so they can get into a program when Rollins returns. The special referee stuff with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre was to seed things for the future with Punk and Rollins, so it's there and if and when they want to go back to it.
Yeah, one source told PW Insider that since creative has changed so much in this new regime, they wouldn't be shocked to see Punk and Rollins in 2025 since the company paces things at a much better level now in terms of laying out long-term plans.
Yeah, they've planted enough seeds for a Punk and Rollins match, and it was the match that we were meant to have at WrestleMania this year.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But consequently,
yeah,
the small matter of Punk getting injured, and then this Drew McIntyre thing taking on a life of its own, meant that everything got moved around a little bit. So it's something that they have put a pin in, and I think it's something that we could see maybe WrestleMania, maybe beyond WrestleMania.
Maybe. I'm pleased that even for the time being, even if he loses this eventual feud with Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed got that angle where he hit him with, did you say 6 or 7 tsunamis?
6.
Lots of tsunamis.
6 namis.
That really helped. He did a bit more of that with the Awesome
Didn't
Truth.
help Seth. He looked awful afterwards.
He did a bit of that with the Awesome Truth again on Raw this week, and they've managed to, I mean, he was always in the IC title sort of picture, the kind of upper mid card, but this was the sort of thing where just in a couple of weeks he's gone from at one level to like looking like a whole different type of threat, and that's fantastic from Triple H, I think. I believe so.
We think so anyway. Last night on NXT, loads of new champions crowned.
Man, this is going to be emotional. But first, we'll start with the one that I was least emotionally invested in, but still important, of course. The Heritage Cup is now belonging back to the No Quarter Catch crew. Charlie Dempsey defeating Tony D'Angelo to win back the cup last night on NXT, beating D'Angelo 2 falls to 1 in the British round style match, with some interference from the newest member of the group, Ren Sinclair, who Charlie was reluctant to admit into the group, and has only these storylines on NXT, and has only done so because she caught the rest of the group disposing of Damon Kemp in the boot of a car, and she went, let me in the group or I'll tell on you, and Charlie's like, oh fine, you can get in the group.
I saw him tweet the other day. I think he's fine.
Yeah, he tweeted.
He tweeted the other day. I think he's all right.
Also, we all saw it happen, Charlie. It was on TV.
Yeah, there was that as well.
It's a nice little sort of semi-comedic storyline in the mid-card of NXT, and Ren Sinclair is doing very well as well.
Do you know what? This has been a hell of a few weeks for the No Quarter Catch crew. Tavion Heights picking up massive wins in Noah.
Went over to take part in the N1, yeah. Fair enough.
He's been doing incredible work out there. We've seen them popping up and being a pretty destructive unit on TNA as well. I love the idea of Charlie Dempsey taking the Heritage Cup to Impact. That's quite cool.
Do you think Tavion Heights is one of those ones like Charlie Dempsey, because they sent him to All Japan, of course, and they've sent him to Bloodsport, GCW. Do you think that Tavion, like Charlie, is one of those ones that they've got their eye on for the future? And
without a doubt.
It's kind of like when a youngster in a Premier League football team gets sent to like the Scottish second division, where he can experience a different side of the game and get kicked around and come back yet more strong for the experience.
And when you talk about kicked around, come back strong.
Yeah.
When you talk about getting kicked around and coming back strong, there was another title change last night.
Oh my word.
That you were very emosh about. Totes emosh.
Chase U are once again the NXT Tag Team Champions, but not the initial combination of Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. This was Andre Chase and Ridge Holland beating Fraxiom, as you've put in the notes here. Nathan Fraser and Axiom to take the belts from them, partly helped by the miscommunication between Fraser and Axiom, who've been slowly breaking apart over the past few weeks. This is Chase U's second tag title reign, but the first one with Ridge Holland as one of the champions, and it's his first ever title in WWE, so congratulations to him.
Good to see Chase U back with tag team gold.
In one way.
Oh, but you feel bad for Delightful Hudson.
I feel so bad for Duke, because last week Duke Hudson was vowing, "I'll help you get the belts back, Mr. Chase." Rich Holland comes into the lecture hall and says, "I've got us a new title match thanks to Ava. She's booked us a new match." And then Duke was like, "Yes, me and Mr. Chase are going to win those belts." And then he went, "Oh, sorry, Duke. The title shot's for me and Mr. Chase." And Duke sat down, swallowed his pride, kind of was a team player. I watched keenly the celebrations on last night's match to see how Duke acted. He was fully on board. So,
but depressed Hudson, maybe. We've had dull Hudson, we've had delightful Hudson, depressed Hudson.
It's like all of Corbin's gimmicks, isn't it?
4 seasons in one day.
Yes.
For our boy Hood. Well done, Chase U, anyway, having the tag titles back on last night's NXT. On the podcast feed right now, you might have seen her go viral during the WWE tryouts at SummerSlam in Cleveland. I had a chat with football/soccer player sfia idosa last night, caught up with her about what led to her getting a tryout with WWE. She talked very openly about the whole process. And you may have seen as well, she was made an offer after she was unsuccessful in her tryout. She was made an offer to join QT Marshall's Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, very interesting perspective, because you've managed to get an interview with somebody who admits that she's not a fan of wrestling, doesn't really know much about WWE. So it'd be very interesting. I'm so keen to listen to it in full to learn what her whole perspective of it was.
And you can check that out on the podcast feed. And if you're a Patreon, you can watch the video version right now at patreon.com/cultaholic. But if you haven't done so already, where have you been? This man nearly died for you. Honestly, one of the finest interviews I think we've ever put on our channel.
Tom, thank you very much.
Genuinely, it's Jack and MJF chewing the fat for nearly an hour.
It was MJF doing 95% of the work, and he was a horrible guy. So, I had a great time interviewing MJF.
Getting bodied for 45 minutes by MJF.
He was fantastic entertainment, just not great for my own self-esteem. But he did mention it. We talked about the Britt Baker stuff. We talked about Shane McMahon. And yeah, like Tom says, we talked for about 45 minutes, close to an hour. So that's up on the channel now. Check it out.
You've seen clips being shared online from this interview. Go and check out the full thing. It's 45 minutes that will absolutely feel like 45 seconds. YouTube.com/Cultaholic. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.